is Kali Ma to me? Now, Kali Ma is usually considered a very major goddess in the Hindu pantheon. She's known for being a warrior, a mother, and one who seems very distant yet loves her children. And she's the consort of Shiva to most people, and she is usually depicted as having hair unbound, as being the wild mother goddess who will go very far to protect her children, who will become bloodthirsty in the destruction of demons, and her imagery is often shown in ways that people misinterpret. Now, as far as this picture goes, her standing on her as Shakti, as also Kali Ma, standing on Shiv, means that energy is mounting matter, the energy in matter. And her trident, the Trishula, which looks like a pitchfork, represents a complete and utter control over the three different natures whose combinations compose reality. Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. Darkness, action, restlessness, and in the middle, action and restlessness are kind of both the same thing. And also Sattva, purity. Now, when I say Rajas is restlessness and action, it means that it's action in the sense that you are very active in this world. You're not inert, just like Tamas, but you're also kind of going back and forth between Sattva, purity, and Tamas, which is darkness. Now, basically all the heads on this garland that she wears are the heads of demons, and basically it represents inner demons. She slays our inner demons, for she is behind many thoughts. She is just in our mind, in essence, trying to help us along our spiritual path, and not forcing us to do anything, but also showing us the way, even in our very mind, as we think, for she knows all our thoughts. Now, these heads are usually depicted as also being the different letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, meaning that she has mastered language and can use it. She's not mastered by it. She's not mastered by reasoning and logic. She is above that, and is basically can use it to her satisfaction, to her goal of helping us as her children. And of course, she has a main demon head, and the blood is coming out of it, and that's basically just another. Sometimes that demon head is a specific demon. Sometimes it's just another one off the garland, and basically she has the beheading tool that chops off heads in the corner over here, just next to the Trishula, because she beheads us in the sense that she beheads the ego, cuts off the ego from the soul, destroys the ego, helps us destroy the ego so that the soul can move on, so the soul can advance, and isn't held back by just one lifetime's ego. Now, there's a lot behind the imagery for Kali Ma, but I'd like to return to who she is for me. Now, Kali Ma she's tough love. She will make you eat your vegetables, to put it plainly, and she will drag you back to the spiritual path. Every time I left the spiritual path, I was dragged back to it by basically being haunted, my personality, and seeing all these different terrible images, all these different, I guess you could say spirits or ghosts, but I was hallucinating way more when I was away from the spiritual path. And what do I mean by spiritual path? I mean that on the road to unification with God. That's the spiritual path to me. And when I got away from that spiritual path is when I really started hallucinating, when it seemed like demonic spirits really started hassling me, and I just didn't have any protection. But once I got back on the spiritual path, it seems like Kali Ma's protection was on me, even before I really saw Kali Ma as the way I do now, or even knew about her. And but when I got back in the spiritual path, these hallucinations, this anger, this pain did not continue in the way that it did when I was off the spiritual path. You know, like I said, I was on the spiritual path starting at 8, started studying different religions, and I got off it in 15, 16, 17, and when I got back on it, it was remarkable. All these hallucinations, went away. Now, Kalima our relationship is very, she will let me do basically anything that I want to experiment with, any other being that I want to go to, but if it's the incorrect part of the path that I've accepted, if it's an incorrect action, in any action, honestly, just not just spiritual, then she'll let the consequences get to me. But she won't let the full force of the consequences get to me. She seems to pluck me out of danger just before my life is dealt some not necessarily a fatal blow, but a very terrible blow. And I've avoided death many times. I feel like because I've been under her guidance. Hell, I even tried to overdose a couple dozen times when I was off the spiritual path, and I never even woke up with a hangover when I took just large quantities of narcotics and alcohol. But I didn't die because I feel like she plucked me out of danger. She allowed me to keep on living because she knew I had a grander purpose. And there are many times when I felt completely destroyed, but I talked to Kalima, or I asked God for love, and now I understand it's Kalima through Kalima anyway, and I received it at the right moments. So I've been through a lot of experiences, and Kalima always feels like she's at the center of it. And when I eat food, I thank her for it through a certain visualization that has really become a connection to my spine, because this visualization feels like the light that I imagine her as being, the different combinations of light that I won't get into detail of because it's very personal. Is basically an energetic kind of pulse or spark just goes throughout my brain and my spine, and I feel it just when I'm pushing my eyes towards the third eye right here, and basically participating in that visualization that I feel like is a sight of her energy, and everything is lit up, everything feels connected, just even if it's just a few seconds. But these are some of the ways that my relationship to Kalima works, and I've offered her many things, and I respect her in many ways, and my communication with her feels very solid, foundational, even though she does feel far away, kind of like you're calling the president and respecting him or asking for favors, and they come to you, but it's just such a high office that it feels so far away. I don't mean necessarily our president, I'm just talking about like president or prime minister, somebody far above in society, if we're going to use a societal example. But that's how my relationship to Kalima feels, yet she does feel like a mother and a warrior, somebody who protects me. So, and somebody who is warm. It's the light that she offers. It may be intense, but it is warm. It is not harsh or searing. It is not overwhelming. But thank you very much for watching. I hope this kind of informed you a little bit about Kalima and maybe how a relationship with Kalima works. But I hope you all have a great one, and feel free to ask any comments through any comments in the comment section below. Different questions about Kalima, or how she operates, or how to connect with her, because I can answer a lot of those questions, thankfully. So if anybody has any questions, shoot them down there in the comment section, and I'll see you all in the future.